tell you this. Every now and then, whenever it's I guess it's intuition. I'll give whether it's giving money to like a hobo, so anybody that I meet, I try to do things like
Mm-hmm.
that. I feel like I should, in the sense of not for any reason of getting anything back from it, just because it's
Right.
you know
You
what I
got to
mean.
follow your gut instinct on stuff like that. And
Yeah,
when when you detach yourself from the outcome, that's when things head in the direction. But it's a
yeah,
fine balance between thinking about it too much
right,
and maintaining the focus without thinking about it, because you can
yeah,
get into where you're thinking about it too much and you sabotage yourself, or you get
yeah,
to where you stop thinking about it and you stop
right,
doing the thing,
right.
which is a big, I mean, that's a big part of the
This
of the, like
the
the
sequence, yeah,
ritual magic angle that I was talking about before.
yeah, for sure. I agree. It's hard to balance the two as far as thinking about it and
Yeah.
executing it. It's from a thought process to actually taking the action. And I
Yeah.
heard you're working out still, or are you doing that physical stuff?
Yeah.
Boy, boy, let me find out.
I mean, imagine I had even less muscle before, but
But you feeling good though? I want to.
I'm feeling, well, yeah. I mean, it's an overall benefit, but
For sure.
I'm the most muscular that
Yeah.
I've ever been. Not very
Really,
much, but
bro. That's
yeah, well, because I've
good.
never worked out in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like never. I mean, when I was in high
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
I
yeah.
did like football,
Yeah. You
working
know
out
what's
for
so
that, but
funny? So funny.
that's
So
like,
I'm in the worst shape I've
yeah,
ever been in my entire life.
yeah. Well, I
I,
was a year ago. I was too.
I'm fat, I'm out of breath, I'm weak, and I
Yeah.
hate it, and I want to fix that. And so you doing that, I mean, that's cool. Hopefully, I can learn. I just gotta do it one time, get that momentum.
Well,
I
you got to
think.
start. Yeah, that's the first. The first time is going to be the hardest, and it's going to seem
Yeah,
like it. It's not going to. It's going to seem like it doesn't. It's not helping at first.
yeah,
But I've been doing it, and in the past maybe month or so, I've kind of cut back my frequency of working out. But I've been
yeah,
maintaining a diet and stuff too. And since I started doing it in March,
yeah.
I've lost over 20 pounds since then.
No shit. Good for you.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, look at this.
No,
Bro,
you got you.
I wear 36.
Muscle top.
I wear 36 in the waist.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
fat.
I mean, I might be close to that, but
I'm fat as fuck.
I've done good for myself. And
But
but see, I don't. We can get into dieting if you want, because that's
I,
really not hard. And there's a lot of misconceptions and misinformation about that type of stuff out there too. I mean, I can tell you the general things that I'm doing, and it's just one rule. If you follow one rule in your
yeah,
diet,
yeah,
track your calories
right,
first of all. And there's apps on your phone you can use for that. But
yeah,
aside from that, if you were to just do it all intuitively,
right,
the number one rule you can follow is to prioritize protein in your diet, because protein is, if you're eating high protein foods, they're
yeah,
very seldomly attached to high fat and high carb. High
right,
protein, you like lean meats,
right.
turkey, chicken.
Right, right.
Prioritize that type of shit, and you'll automatically start taking in less calories and less fat, because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
eating more of the stuff that's higher in protein.
Right.
So not only that will let you eat less calories, but protein takes more calories to digest and helps you build muscle.
Okay.
So you can hit it from
So
both ends if
yeah,
you do it
yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
I like your version of it better because I'm just saying routine and that's the
Yeah.
procrastination part for me is I'm a lazy motherfucker and I gotta fix my workout.
Well, me too.
All no, well, I mean,
At
compared to
heart.
me,
So I have to really try it. But the thing is,
yeah, yeah,
and I found again, this is in the past, like past
yeah,
couple of months, I've been letting it slip a little bit. But
yeah,
if you can get yourself into a solid routine, you'll find that it doesn't hamper your life in any way. It helps unlock so much shit
yeah,
that
dude, and
you
I
feel
know,
like having. Oh, if I wake up if I wake up at a decent hour, oh man, that's not fun because I want to do this and
yeah,
that.
but when you
But
do
you'll
it,
have so much more energy, so much
God, I
more like
know, and like I know that because
vitality.
I felt that before, and I'm like, and
Yeah,
I still don't do it, but I know that if I started doing a routine and just did something physical, bro, my brain, I'd be more effective in every.
it
But
is,
I
and
just
that's
can't.
something I gotta try super hard not to neglect it, because
Yeah,
I'm just getting into that onto a roll with it, where I can like keep it going.
right, right. I gotta
But
start. I think I'm gonna start like soon, like
in
today.
the background of all that, there's the dark fucking energy that
Yeah,
is tempting people away from all that good stuff.
there's a lot of dark energy going around.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
Well, I'll tell you, because I can't. I'm not going to say definitively, but part
Yeah,
of what I've
shit.
been kind of passively absorbing, I guess you could say,
Yeah,
since the last time we talked,
yeah,
has to do with where that might be coming from and what the origin and
right,
maybe the destination of it might be.
right.
Um,
What's the
Well,
meaning of it? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
well, no, I mean, I want your input too, but
I
yeah,
don't really think I have. I'm very curious to know your input because I haven't.
yeah,
I noticed it, but I'm like, man, I need to talk to the wizard because
yeah.
there's some shit. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay, you see my shit now?
Yeah,
Look, okay,
yeah,
okay. You seeing this right here?
yeah. What is that?
This is from, well, this is like a Babylonian
Yeah,
sculpture, basically. So from like, this is like the dawn of civilization, right?
yeah.
Um,
Is he stabbing that griffin?
yeah, it's like, well, right, it's like a lion, serpent, winged demon thing, and there's
Right,
this guy stabbing it.
right, right.
So this right here comes from like a proto-Islamic religion in Persia,
Yeah,
which is where Iran is now.
yeah.
So between Iran and Iraq,
Hmm.
is basically like Mesopotamia, and a lot of people consider that the cradle of civilization. So like in the very first, the dawn of
Right. Yeah.
civilized people like Sumeria, Babylon, Acadia, things like that.
Hmm.
Apparently, a dominant religion throughout that time was called Zoroastrianism.
Wait a second. Let me pull up my notepad here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Zoro. Say it again.
Zoroastrianism.
Okay. What the
And
fuck? I never heard of
I
that.
don't know, man. I hardly know anything about it beyond the basics and kind of how
Yeah.
it pertains to what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
But the character on the left here is Ahura Mazda, which is like their preeminent deity. So like
Okay. Okay.
Zoroastrianism's like a monotheistic religion, but there's a kind of pantheon of lesser spirits and demons around it.
Okay.
And this thing that it's slaying has a couple of names, and they kind of call it a different thing sometimes, like Angra Mainyu, Angra
Mhm.
Mainyu. But I guess it kind of evolved into a different entity known as Ahriman.
Aramon, huh?
Ahriman.
Okay.
And Ahriman's like the primary, like the Satan to Christianity.
Right.
Like it's the
Okay.
primary
Yeah. Devil.
opponent. It's the
Negative.
primary opponent of the force of good in the world.
Yeah.
So fast forward to about 100 years ago.
From today.
There's like the early
Mhm.
1900s.
Okay. Yeah.
There's an Austrian German occult philosopher
Yeah.
called Rudolf Steiner,
Yeah.
and I just recently came across this guy, and he like there's YouTube channels that
Yeah.
go over like translations of all his lectures and books and stuff, and
He's a philosopher.
I mean,
though?
he's obviously
Early-
not alive anymore. Yeah, he was
Right,
like
right.
an adult in the early 1900s, but
Yeah.
he went on at length about the Ahrimanic influence over humanity in the current age,
Yeah.
and and like I can't do it justice in just a few minutes, but basically
Right.
there's like the progression of human spirituality and human psychological and spiritual progression
Yeah.
throughout human history
Yeah.
has kind of split into three distinct parts where like not prehistory but antiquity, like way like before
The thought before. Yeah. The.
well like okay so like 2000 BC and
Yeah.
before
Yeah. Yeah.
is what he considered the age of the Luciferic influence, which Lucifer, as a not Satan, but like Lucifer in a more occult sense, to where Lucifer's like the god of the physical world, like the animal
Okay.
instinct, the
Okay.
instinctual part of
Yeah.
psychology, like the reptilian brain.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So like that's if you can imagine like human culture and civilization when it first started, it
Yeah.
was very tribal,
Yeah.
very immediate,
Carnal.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly,
Primal.
yeah,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
instinctual, very
Yeah.
primal. And so that was not that that's a bad thing. It's not really a
Right.
good
Right.
and
For
bad
sure.
type of scenario, but that's
Yeah.
where it started. And he says that was an incarnation of Lucifer, of that energy in
Yeah.
the eastern part of the world. So that could be referring to like the Near East, like like around this time of Babylon and Sumer and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which they had the whole tangent of their
God. Yeah.
gods like the Anunnaki and stuff like that, which I'm that's kind of beyond the scope of what I want to talk about right now.
Right.
But the middle period between, so like it starts with Lucifer in the east,
Right.
and then in the Near East around the turn of the millennium, around 0, like BC to AD, there's the
Yeah.
Christ influence and the Christ incarnation in
Right.
Jesus of Nazareth. So like he makes a distinction, which is a theological
Right.
point to distinguish between Christ and the actual man Jesus of Nazareth, and that Jesus was the incarnation of the Christ energy
Okay.
at the middle point of human development in the Near East, as opposed to the far east of Lucifer. Okay. So, and that you can see how that moves more into the spiritual, more into the higher kind of esoteric knowledge and elevating the spiritual energy.
Right.
Through, like, imagine like the chakra system, like
it's kind of like a paradigm almost in the time period, as far as like it didn't exist, like the spiritual. Okay, if I'm
right. So imagine the chakras here. So like the base chakra here is the more carnal instinct, the more like the sexual base of energy, and you could consider that to be the Lucifer area. And you move up through into like the heart chakra, where this is where the Christ influence would come from. And you have like the mental realm, which is what comes next. The mental realm, according to Rudolf Steiner, is where the influence of Ahriman comes from, and that his quote is that in the beginning of the 3rd century after Christ, which is the century that we're in now, or the 3rd millennium, so that after the year 2000, there will be an incarnation of Ahriman, as opposed to the incarnations of Lucifer and Christ, with Lucifer in the Far East, Christ in the Near East. The incarnation of Ahriman will be in the West. And it'll happen in the period, in the early part of the millennium that we're in right now. And according to him, and if you I would encourage you to go and maybe look at some of the stuff on your own.
I'm hoping, that you send me some resources. But
I will for sure. And it's maybe just a couple of videos that you could watch and kind of get the gist of it, but I'll try and explain it. Is that the Ahrimanic influence is more about this purely cerebral, the purely intellectualized aspects of human development. Not that it's a good or bad thing in that and of itself, like with Lucifer or Christ influence.
It's just an era we're in.
So that extreme denial of the spiritual, that extreme denial of the body, in favor of purely intellectual, purely psychological, intellectual energy. And I think that's the energy that we're in right now, because you see things like the media and social media and the kind of a collectivism, the kind of threads of collectivism that are trying to spread out throughout the West.
Most definitely. So it's like either you could denial or acceptance.
Denial of the spirit and of the body in favor of the intellect. And that's where all the kind of psychological fucking issues come from. The psychosis and neurotic behaviors,
psychological warfare.
So that's the Ahrimanic influence, according to Steiner, exerting itself on the modern world in the West, and that it's culminating in the actual incarnation of Ahriman as a person or an entity. It's hard to say.
I think it would be something that's not just one. I mean, as far as the manifestation of what you're talking about, it definitely would. I would assume be much more beyond just a person. It's probably an unforeseen energy. Obviously, I don't know, but that's
it's easy to imagine it as like a technology or an organization, or as opposed to a singular person,
like a concept or an idea, even a thought.
The thoughts, I think, lead to the incarnation, which may be, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what the part of it that we're in right now.
Right.
It's hard to say.
That book, I never did check out that book you told me, man. I downloaded it and I still ain't read it.
Which one?
We talked about it the last time when I was at that RV out there. It was talking about kind of, it's the book. Let me just pull it back up. Kind of like where you control your own. What was it? The power of think. Hold on.
Oh, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah.
Yes, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, I just looked at it. Are you still about that, or what? As far as the power.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm about halfway through it. I haven't done a lot of reading recently, I have to admit. In the
Really?
past couple of months. No, I haven't. But I've been watching
But you read a lot.
documentaries, and yeah, well, I read like
Yeah,
I do a lot of
you're
listening to like I've been listening to like audiobooks and lectures and stuff like that.
yeah. That's
Less reading in the past couple of months though, really.
my brother be reading. I mean, listening to. I can't ever. I'm
Yeah.
more of a reader, but I don't read a lot
Well, I
either.
like both, but it's
Yeah, however you retain it, I guess.
I
Yeah,
mean, I do pretty well either way.
yeah, you
And
do.
plus, there's a lot more to listen to for free than going to a
Yeah,
store and buying the book or whatever.
right. Most
And that's
definitely.
how I got turned on to the Rudolf Steiner. There's a YouTube channel where there's a guy who goes and reads like every one of his
Oh yeah.
lectures that he would give in like Europe in 1920, and they're translated to English, and he
She
reads
translates
them.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank God for
and
people like
so
that. Like
I
you know how
know,
much
right?
that's a lot of work. Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. So okay, so Ahriman,
Ramon.
I don't want to,
I
I'm
like
kind
the
of hesitant
name.
to put. Yeah, it's weird.
On
I
the
mean,
cool, no, on the
well,
cool.
check this.
This may sound crazy, but I'm about to tell. Like, all right, I thought I was gonna have a girl with this baby stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna name her Remedy, right? Her name's gonna be Remedy.
Yeah,
But now I need a
yeah.
boy name. I need a boy name, and I think I'm gonna pitch it to my girl, and make it Armor.
No,
That's a
come on.
badass name, dude.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I don't know if you want to tempt that, right? I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. Let me
Yeah.
see. I'm gonna give you a picture of what he like. Apparently, this guy Rudolf Steiner made a carving
Okay.
of Ahriman.
So he was predicting the shit way back in the
Yes,
day.
100 years ago. Yeah.
How the fuck is he Oracle?
Well, he.
Or not Oracle.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a deeper topic, but it's certainly possible that he had information that goes beyond the typical.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's the only way.
Here's what his carving of the Ahriman.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, it's dope.
It's weird, huh?
Who carved that?
He did.
Is that wood? He carved it out of
yeah,
stone?
I guess so. Or maybe it's like carved out of like clay or something.
Damn, that's badass.
But that's kind of what he. That's kind of what he said. Here's what he looked like.
Yeah. That's Rudolf Steiner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy motherfucker. But not. But that's what That's a badass picture. Hey, this shit's crazy though. But
yeah.
Okay,
that's a twist in the narrative that I didn't expect either. I stumbled across this guy. I was like, man.
Yeah.
He's kind of. This is 100 years ago, 1920, and he's
kinda,
sort of nailing the whole situation we're in right now, where there's a total denial of the felt experience, like the immediate experience of life, in favor of a purely intellectual realm.
It's disconnection. It's technology.
Yeah, well, that's the part of it for sure.
But I love technology, though. But I think that it is definitely going to be
well, right. So ultimately, his assertion would be that you're not supposed to reject it.
Right.
But you're supposed to balance it between, like, you're supposed to be basically in the Christ energy between these two.
Yeah.
In the middle of the spectrum between Lucifer, Christ, and Ahriman, you're supposed to try and, like, incorporate all three, but not go too far over to one side.
Yeah. That's the key to making sense of it all, I guess, because that's ultimately I think what we want to do. I know someone like you and I just want to make sense of what happens weekly, sadly, but to make sense of the grand picture of things, or even for me, even just talking with you, having a glimpse of something that is totally original, totally fascinating and intriguing to me, because my environment has been just trash, bro. I mean, when I say that, I've been and it's my own fault, but I'm talking about like just the people, it plays a big role on people like me, especially because I'm a follower. I'm someone that I'm humble enough to I'm not I can't be manipulated, but I definitely am. So the people I'm around and my environment influence me much more than I care to admit. But I've learned to be able to say, I prefer to be alone. I mean, I'm a loner most of the time. But what I'm doing when I'm alone, and then what I'm spending my time, what I'm investing my energy in, I could be doing a lot better. I could be doing a lot better. And
me too.
To California was a big move for me. But now, and I've got money, you know what I mean? I'm still doing my own thing, but a little bit of money to survive. But I know that this is chess, not checkers, man.
Yeah.
And these.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm a lot like, I mean, and I wish that's it's hard to convey to somebody who hasn't experienced it, because everybody deals with that. Everybody has the self-doubt. And the only difference between somebody who just stays in that self-doubt forever and never, and just, they're making it, they're doing their
Yeah,
life,
but he's so
but they're
unhappy
not
though.
taking it to the next level.
I know, and
The
he
only
won't.
thing that separates people from that go to the next level from the people that don't is that they face that self-doubt and they force themselves to overcome it.
I
Like
don't know
going to
why
the
he won't.
gym. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta flex
exactly.
you gotta flex it up here too, the same way you're flexing.
Exactly. I'm about to do some push-ups right now. For real,
Yeah.
though. You're for real. Preach
Well,
that
and that's
shit.
the thing.
Speak that shit, boy.
They kind of
Yeah.
all feed off each other. So if you're strengthening your body, you're working on quieting your mind, then your fucking spirit, which is, in this case, which is the thing that allows you to face your own problems,
Yeah.
is elevated because of that.
It all
If you're
becomes
more
elevated.
confident with your body and you're more
In mind, yeah.
if you're more in control of your mind, and that's sort of like the Ahriman, the Lucifer, and the Christ. Like the Lucifer is
Most
like your
definitely.
physical body, your physical strength. The Christ is like your spiritual body,
Yeah.
and the Ahriman is like your intellectual self.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to work in harmony.
Most definitely. That all comes together. I feel you. I'm starting to see the concept a little bit better, like, from what you're talking about. So I definitely know, and I've been knowing in my intuitional side, I need to do stuff physical. Because when I'm physical, when I'm doing anything, even small amounts of physical work, I notice my brain. I notice that I feel better. And
Absolutely.
it's not all synthetic, sedated fucking, because
Right.
I've been abusing that for so long that obviously my shit's a little irregular, but physical exercise even more so should be a reason why I should do that, because that's
And
the only
that,
thing
I mean, right, and that's the big thing. Like, it'll
Yeah.
help at the very least. It'll give you something else to focus your time
Right.
on instead of
Right.
chasing a feeling or whatever.
Yeah, dude, straight up, exactly.
And there's nothing. I mean, if you go to the gym, man, you get a fucking good ass pump on,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Woo!
It feels good.
That's a great feeling
It's like a drug. It's better than
to feel. It is, yeah, because it's a literal drug. Because I mean, it's giving you endorphins and shit like that too.
Yeah, I need to get to the gym, man, for real. Do something like that. I think that's what I'm gonna do when I go to the woods. When I go out there to the woods, bro, I'm gonna get I got a new laptop. I've got but I'm gonna get something maybe like a Go kit. I don't know, something. What do you think? Because if we do this thing, I want to get some badass imagery of the woods, like the animals.
Yeah, well, if you got a GoPro, that'd be good. But if you got a decent phone, that's really all you need.
Yeah. I had some iPhone 12s. The iPhone's got a good video, but I don't have that no more. It's got the SE, but it does its job.
But anyway, it's a phone, and I get that there's like, oh, it's Apple, it's Android, what?
Right.
But ultimately, that's the type of shit. That's the Ahrimanic influence right there. Getting into that tribalism and that fucking like, oh well, Apple's better
than
Apple's just as fucking. They're the heart of the corruption. Dude.
Straight up, definitely.
Look at
They're the pirates.
Look at their fucking icon. What do you think that apple with a bite taken out of it means?
Right.
Which is good. I mean, honestly, knowledge of good and evil, and like esoteric knowledge is good, but they intentionally, and not just Apple, but all these companies, all these people that are elites in society, all these politicians, they will spout all fucking day long that they're just regular old Christians or whatever, but the vast majority of them,
and the darkness
they have this esoteric knowledge.
Oh yeah,
and they're intentionally
most definitely
trying to trick people into thinking that they don't know about the shit that we're talking about.
They come when they do.
That's part of the magical practice is convincing the person that you're working with that they're not in on it.
Right. And putting it right in front of their face, and they can't they love it. It makes them.
And they'll deny it all day. They'll deny it till their grave.
Most definitely. It's crazy, but it's definitely something I'm starting to, not just with like I rarely watch TV, propaganda, politics, all this shit. But sometimes whenever someone I just want to bust a flow. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just saying, no, I'm just playing. But for real though, I do need to do a little bit more research, and really the only time I even get to dive into stuff like this that's a little bit more abstract and regular, but also very useful, and is when I talk to you, and. So thank you for that. For as far as doing the research, just thank you for being you, bro. For real, that's all I could say. Like I'm grateful to know you, and that we get to do this because, shit. Sometimes I feel like I'm done. I'm out of my order. I don't know. Sometimes it just feels good to make sense of something, even if it sounds so bizarre or crazy. That's the stuff I get off. I like that.
Well, that's the thing, and it sounds crazy.
That's us.
But at the end, no, because that's what I'm getting at is that it's the subjective nature of it, and it's embracing the subjectivity of it. That's really the key to unlocking the higher levels of your mind and of your capabilities.
Like you were just talking.
Think about this. Like I know it's a touchy subject, but the way people are going on about the coronavirus and the vaccines and stuff, It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
There's like, for them to want everybody to take the vaccine
What's the
and
deal
think
with
that it's
this?
somehow a necessity for things to get back to normal
Yeah.
is an ultimate con. Like
It definitely is. I mean, I could.
whether or not, I mean, like, I don't think it should be like, I think if you want it, you should be able to take it. I
But
think if
there's,
you want to be careful about it and you're in an at-risk group, of course you should.
but they're
But to
starting
think
to
that
make, they're making people.
it's
like
an
this,
obvious power play
most definitely, easily. I mean,
at the bare minimum, assuming no other ill intent. It's purely a way to just make billions of dollars for
yeah,
these drug companies.
right, exactly.
And it's like it gets more obvious by the day.
Yeah,
But the people who are already inculcated and they're already sort of,
yeah,
I don't want to say indoctrinated, but
yeah,
they're on the side of buying into it.
right,
They see it in the total opposite way. Like they
yeah,
think that it gets more obvious that people who aren't taking the vaccine
yeah,
are getting
yeah,
fucked. That they see it as
right.
that. When
It's crazy. All right.
it's like, it's weird.
Remember,
But
because
that's
we were
the
talking about this before, and
Yeah.
you weren't sure if it was just a part of our own inner. Are we doing this to entertain or make
we are, and I'm convinced, and that's what I see. Of
Yeah.
course, that's what I'm expecting to see. So that's
right,
what I'm seeing,
right.
but it
also
doesn't
it's-
behave in any other way. Like it's not
right.
the whole social situation's not playing out as a bunch of people who are concerned legitimately for the well-being of society.
Right,
It's people on top wanting to make a bunch of money and assert control over the people below. And below, there's two groups of people:
right.
the ones who are followers,
Yeah.
the ones who want to buy into it, and they want their rights back, their rights that the government somehow
Yeah,
took from them.
right.
And the people who are
Against
not
it,
even
yeah.
against it, but just
But still-
questioning it, just
right.
even the mildest amount of
Damn.
skepticism.
It puts into it separates into brackets that way. It's like a giant experiment.
Yeah.
We're lab rats in a way too. As far
And it's
as
not like you don't have to. They're trying to lump people like that in with anti-vax, like the same type of people who are like
They're
any
making-
vaccine is bad for you, which that's not really
yeah,
true. But
no, not at all.
it's
yeah.
not to question a situation like this is the
Yeah.
responsible thing to do
right.
because it's so blatant
I
that
know it seems it seems so obvious.
it's very
When
blatant.
I'm like, now there's this mandate.
And how insistent they are on telling you that it's not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not blatant,
yeah.
and that you really are. There really is something wrong with you for being skeptical of it.
That's what's
And
making
it's not like
obvious.
we're not saying
Yeah.
that those people that you're bad for taking it,
Right,
or
right,
that you're bad for wanting things to be back to
right,
normal.
right.
We're just saying, hey,
Yeah,
there's something's weird about this.
right, and yeah.
But they're like, oh, you're anti-science, you're
Yeah,
anti-intellectual.
exactly.
Like you're not.
They're starting to make you have to have it's crazy.
Well, some places.
I knew that
are,
was
yeah.
I knew that was gonna happen. You're like anywhere you work.
Well,
anywhere.
where you are in California is one of those places.
Really? You have to really.
Well, hopefully you don't have to get any kind of straight job or anything. But
right. Well, I won't ever. So.
well, I don't know.
I just don't like the fact that they're trying to make you, and then it's so obvious that there's like this there's this new strain of it that, and it's like it's obvious to me that this shit, whether it helps you or not, I had it apparently, and it's maybe just COVID bullshit.
Right. Well, getting it is the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, because your immune system can.
Because you'll have an actual immunity to it, and even if you wanted to take the vaccine after that, I was reading an article just earlier that said if you've had it and you take the vaccine, then you got the best defense against it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
But I mean, it's all of that. Whether or not that's true, or the vaccines are helpful overall or harmful overall, whether or not the vaccines are driving the rise of the variants, or it's you're at way higher risk of dying if you don't take the vaccine, which I don't personally think is true, unless you're already in a high risk group, which I'm not.
Right.
They shouldn't be making people take it, even if all that stuff is true.
Yeah,
they shouldn't
exactly.
be assuming that forcing people to take it is even a politically savvy strategy.
Exactly.
Because it's only gonna instill more distrust in the government and in authority from people. Even people who've already taken the shit are gonna start to distrust them more because they're forcing it on everybody. Yeah.
Maybe they're doing that on purpose, though.
Well, that would make sense, but that's awfully conspiratorial.
That's that. What? How do you say? Who's that? I'm sorry.
Ahriman, the Ahrimanic influence, and I mean, honestly, this whole situation strikes me as like if
the origins
to
of
think that somebody 100 years ago could have described the psychological situation that we're in right now so succinctly is astounding.
It makes you start.
extraordinary.
Yeah,
Well, because there is a line of
there's
esoteric
something.
knowledge that goes through all of this, and people like Rudolf Steiner
Yeah,
were aware of it,
they
and
were
people
able
before
to.
him were aware of it,
They were just
and it's
able
part of
to
it. Yeah.
they were able to channel it for the people. I mean, that is wild. That gives me like. That's what I was saying. Like that's why I'm glad we talked because I would have never run across this shit. I would have never even. But I definitely will now have a new perspective of it and look into it, and hopefully we can continue, like you said, pushing forward, not just on this, but
Yeah.
it's cool that it makes sense. That makes more sense to me than a lot of things recently, as far as in my
Well, it
personal.
doesn't. I mean, even though
That's,
I can rationalize it in this way, it still
it makes
doesn't give me a lot of comfort because
yeah.
it seems like things are still gonna go on the way that I don't want them to,
Well, they
whether
will.
I
Well, they will. They will.
figured it out or not.
But it's still cool to talk with. For me, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like I
Well,
appreciate.
it's cathartic to
Yeah.
talk about it, say it out loud because it's not really acceptable.
Yeah. At all. And
Even though that the fact that it's not acceptable, I feel like is part of an illusion that's being propagated. Because like the way like if you were to believe the news and you were to believe Twitter and social media and shit,
well, I believe it. Like
you
I
would
believe
think that people who are pro vaccine mandate and pro lockdown and
Yeah.
you would think that those people are in the majority, but my
Yeah.
intuition tells me that that's an illusion, that those people are not the majority.
Right.
And that they would like desperately to believe that they are.
Yeah,
But
it's all
truthfully,
it's an elusive illusion.
they're not.
They're not.
And that even somebody with an ounce of self-reflection
Yeah.
will be skeptical of this, and that is the majority of people.
Yeah. That's some deep shit, though. I just gotta get to that
Yeah.
cabin. For
Yeah,
real.
that'd be badass, dude.
Man, I know. I'll send you the listing. Hopefully, it's still available. But yeah, I'm willing to spend $1,400 to go spend a month in solitude and just do
Yeah.
something. And do something. I need to, bro, for real, because there's a lot of snakes in the ground. I'm about to throw on a beat. No, but there's no way to
You
get.
can't be. You gotta be snake charming, dude.
I mean, I just wanted to sever the head.
Well, keep them in the fucking basket. Keep them out of your bed.
Shit, right. I've been having dreams about snakes, bro. I don't know the symbolism of it, but
Serpent symbology, man. That's exactly. I swear to God, dude.
Bro,
we're on it. We're totally on it.
I've been having dreams.
I mean, I was looking at that earlier, and the serpent symbolism is exactly part of it, and that's what I was talking about just a minute ago.
Yeah.
With the chakras.
Yeah.
Look.
I have dreams where there's so many snakes everywhere. I can't even walk. And I've had dreams like this for a while, even back in the day. It's weird how they happen, but very vivid dreams of it. And it's usually, I don't know, it's supposed to mean something. I'm sure you probably have.
Snakes are probably the most primal image. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, just in terms of human evolution, that's probably one of the primary predators that humans would have to deal with. Because like a snake will crawl up in your fucking bed at night. It's not like a lion or something where you hear it coming.
I'm a snake too. Chinese astrology.
Exactly.
I am a snake.
Yeah, you're the snake, right?
Yeah.
I'm a dragon, which is even cooler.
Oh yeah.
You beyond the think of the symbolism of the Garden of Eden. Like this is supposed to be the genesis of modern humanity all together, and the snake is the central figure in basically ushering in modern humanity. Through which is the representation of Lucifer.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like people. I guess there's the sense that Lucifer deceived man by giving them knowledge of good and evil, and they were cast out of the garden by God. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that.
I think
because and I was about to say, like, this is the esoteric thread, like it literally coils through all of our history like a snake, because it has to do with the life force energy.
Yeah.
What you might like prana, or just the force, just period. Prana, but it's a sexual energy. Like it's the energy that you feel, and it doesn't have to do with just sex, but sex is sort of where it's like expelled. That's a common manifestation for it. But part of the esoteric practices throughout time have been finding ways to capture that energy and not expel it. You know what I'm saying? Not expel it, but to turn it back in on itself and using it to reach higher states of consciousness.
Yeah. And I could see, because it's such a strong,
It is such a strong energy. And it's easy to just like let it, shoot it out. But if you don't do that, you'll find that it starts to get into your head. Right. If you're not, it's the spurt. You know what we're
Ah,
talking?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
trying to tie it back because that is what it's about.
Yeah, yeah,
You
straight
know,
up.
and it's not like all the political maneuvering,
Right.
the philosophical meandering. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
trying
Yes.
to the advancement of humanity is based on that principle.
Yes.
Like, think about it. Even in today, the modern, how much of a fixation we have on the medical sphere. What's the symbol for medicine? What's like the most age-old symbol for medicine? It's a staff.
Cross.
It's a staff with two snakes winding up.
Really?
The caduceus. Hold on, I'll show you. I mean, I know you may not know the word
No, I
of it, but
don't know, because you're a historian and I'm a dummy.
this right
Look at
here,
that bone.
right?
That's the.
So, and that's exactly what this life force is telling you.
Yeah.
Look at it overlays perfectly with the chakras, and you can see it
Yeah.
right
Oh,
here.
there it
It
is. There
starts
it
at
is.
the root chakra, which is the base of the sexual energy.
What's that to the left?
And
The top left
this
up
is
there. Is that?
the
Yeah.
caduceus. The caduceus. All right, they're telling you right here exactly what is going on.
Oh,
It's called the coiled serpent, the Kundalini
cutting in and out.
Shakti.
Okay.
It's right. Well, it's called the
Yeah.
Kundalini energy in like the Hindu yogic traditions, and it's like the energy generates from your root chakra, which is like, you know, where your prostate is basically. Okay, so right, so through meditation and specific poses and posture,
Yeah.
breathing exercises, you can build that energy up and get it to transfer up through your body into your third eye, your pineal gland up here, and it'll allow you to access higher states of consciousness.
Right.
So that's the key.
Yeah.
To all of the major religions and esoteric systems of the world.
For sure.
And it informs a lot more of today's society than we probably even know about.
Yeah. Most definitely. That's you know, I think that that's why I was talking about the woods and shit. I need to find like a mantra. Is that what it's called? Mantra?
Yeah, well,
something
the mantra would be like like the thing that you chant, but which actually that specific vibration stimulates certain parts of your body to aid in that ascension of the energy through your chakras.
Bro, that's what I feel like I need to be doing, man. I'm just saying, like, I don't ever take the time to even, like, my brother used to talk about breathing, how important it is, like, just to focus on breathing. He knows all these different methodologies about it, and it's true, but I think that I need to start trying to, like, exercise and also meditate. Even just small forms of it, but finding a mantra, finding something that where I can use it to get in that mind state, practice that, execute it, rather than just sit here and talk about it and then just keep doing the same.
Well, I'm in the same boat. I do a lot of talking about it too, and not enough.
I'm a procrastinating fool. They should call me MC.
The big, like, the thing is, it's like it's hard to know where you're supposed to go. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm sort of clued in to the info, but I still have issues with like my own confidence of being able to actually start pursuing it in a super because it's not without risk.
Right, most definitely. But you know what? That's what I'm here for. Yeah, I think you're gonna guide me.
Bouncing the ideas off of you, getting your outside perspective, I guess.
Yeah, and I hope to be able to contribute more.
Well, you can. I mean, you do. I mean, honestly, you do already. Just even because look, you're familiar with the third man effect.
Yeah.
Where when two people collaborate, there's between the two of them, there's a third energy that arises that neither one of them could conceive of on their own, and it takes on a personality of its own, which is what makes collaboration so impactful.
Effective. Okay, yeah. I've never
just the
heard of that, but I've experienced it, I guess. So I understand.
Because you're a creative person, you've been in situations where you've collaborated, so you know exactly.
Yeah.
It further amplifies both of our trajectory.
Yeah,
even if you feel like you don't know,
it's important.
Yeah.
I'm down with it, and you know what's hard though is to keep that momentum. But sometimes you don't. But the momentum, I feel like it has to disperse in sequences of time. Like for instance, you hit me up, and you're like, "Man, I've been in a funk," but you hollered at me. You were in that mode. And just at that time, I was with B or whatever. But I was like, I was super. I got excited whenever I seen you send me that message. Like, yo, you want to chat? Because I knew I was about to go back to a private room. I got my room. I got it all set up where I can do that with you, and not have all this outside influences or external influences, and I can just focus on it with you and talk with you and get on some cool, deep, original, different shit. Because these carbon copy clones getting tired of them. Like floppy disk, they sloppy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's getting
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, this is obviously. I think a good idea would be to kind of like start at the present moment and try to work our way backwards.
Yeah.
And to put, because that'll put all this shit into context of the modern era.
Yeah, for sure.
But and maybe that'll help us to figure out what to research and what to look into next and where to maybe take it.
Most definitely. I mean, I'm already overwhelmed with which, but that's because
that's man. I know. There's so much more that I could talk about. Imagine how
I know.
overwhelmed I am right now.
I can't.
There's so I haven't even started about Atlantis.
I can never comprehend. That's why you are the wizard, and that's why you do what you do. That's what you're good at. You can retain a lot. You know what I mean? You have that.
Well, I don't know. I'm not good at memorizing shit, but what I am good at is like contextualizing stuff and like mapping it into like is making connections between things.
Yeah, you can
give me a more of a holistic overview, even though the specific details I can't remember. But I can see the fucking pattern of the serpent.
Right.
Even through this shit, even if I can't point to exactly where we're at.
And that's all you got to have a glimpse of it. And when that's where it starts. And as long as you got a, you can, this whatever you want to call it, bird's eye view or third, whatever. But you do have that gift. But it's not something that's open on traditional Sundays, because some subways they sweat on traditional Sundays and sunset swimways. Now I'm not making this no sense at all.
Well, but that's good though, because like even if the stuff that we want to talk about isn't exactly kosher, there's a big demand for that. Look at you, McCafe.
The McCafe. The dude when I ordered at the drive-thru acted like he was talking shit. Because he knew what RB was trying to say McAfee. I don't think he said it right.
Anyway,
McAfee? He said, McAfee. Speaking of.
Yeah. Well, right. That's another.
I mean, is he dead or
not? Well, for all intents and purposes, I guess so.
I'm down with John McAfee.
What about Epstein? You know what?
I don't know much about Epstein. I don't know much about him, but I'm just down. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I'm pretty confident of.
Yeah.
That he was a bad person, but he was an extremely knowledgeable person about this type of shit that we're talking about right now. He knew a lot about this stuff. He's one of those people who is in on it big time.
Yeah.
Now, what he used it for bad ends ultimately.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, we can get into that.
That's more. Who is he?
He's the billionaire financier, child molester. He had the sex trafficking island, you know.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I know who he is. Yeah, I read a little bit.
And see, that's kind of an interesting thing, is because oftentimes this type of esoteric shit is they try to pin it on bad people, so that it kind of gives it the flavor of, if you're into this, it's not good. Yeah, but that's not true at all, because this is this is totally neutral subject material, and it's up to the individual to decide how they use it. It's a great power ultimately if you fully buy into it. But I mean,
they definitely, them just portraying him as such a terrible. But at the end of the day, you're right. He was on that level of higher elevated.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is,
he was a badass.
He was in tight with so many powerful people: Bill Gates, Donald Trump, the Clintons. Everybody. You think they're not all into that shit too? You think they don't know? You think that if they didn't listen to what we're saying right now, they wouldn't know exactly what the fuck we're talking about? They absolutely do. They absolutely do. And that's what I'm intent, not on confronting anyone, but I'm intent on getting
exposing it.
Well, not them, but exposing the information.
Most definitely. Understanding the information first, and then exposing it to
exposing
me,
it gives it kind of a salacious tone, but I want to explore it. I want to understand it.
So do I, for sure. And I think that
because this is whether or not you even think it's real or not. This is at the root
it's intriguing.
of the socio-political, religious framework that we exist in, and it's totally obscured from the vast majority of the population.
Most definitely is. And then you know what?
Not that it's inaccessible, because if you just scratch the surface, it's all right there. But it has no mainstream credibility
not.
whatsoever, because
And
it would
probably,
upset the apple cart and it would give people way too much power
oh
over
yeah,
their own
that's
lives if
well,
they
yeah,
were
that
to
and right.
look into it.
They don't want that to happen. Not the ones that know. You know what I mean? Of course not.
Right.
But I think that even it's just a small selected group makes it cooler. You know what I mean? Because I mean, for me, I'm saying,
Well, yeah, that does make
yeah,
it cool,
I
but
mean,
that
I'm all
makes it
about, yeah.
that makes it a little dangerous too.
It ain't no danger.
Well, I mean, think about it. Think about the Nazis.
Yeah,
The leaders of the Nazi Party are also people who are super into this shit too,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they tried to use it to gain power. And look what happened to them.
yeah. But see, yeah, I guess I get what you're saying there. But I feel like the better we understand it, better we figure it out, explore it, better off we'll be protected from it. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
as far as defense mechanism, because if we're aware of it and I don't know, I feel like the next evolution of anything, it's not going to be physical, obviously, it's going to be consciousness, it's going to be thought, it's going to be, and that's what we're in right now, as far as we're evolving into I think there's going to be certain people that have a perception of technology, for instance. Some people are aware of it and the way that they perceive it, and and I say technology because obviously I'm a fucking kind of. Who's someone else is calling me? Or is that you or me?
No, I was just drinking water.
My shit's ringing. Who's calling me right now? Hang on, buddy. How could someone be calling me while I'm already in a call?
It's
Hang
calls
on.
coming from inside the house.
No, there's them.
It's Bill
Hold on.
Gates at your door.
What?